Have you ever find it hard to start a speech? Do you find it very hard to begin a speech? You are giving a message or you are called up to address a crowd and you find it difficult to begin the speech. You have everything you want to say, everything is so good in your head to present, or you find it very hard to begin the speech. Then, now there's something you need to know. The few 30 seconds you start a speech will determine if your audience will listen to you or they won't pay attention to you. This video is going to show you, going to give you best, it's going to give you advice on how to start a speech in a way that will capture the audience and make them to give you time and listen to you when speaking. The first way to begin a speech that will drag the attention of the audience is by asking a question. Questions are very powerful because when you come and you ask a question, it will make the audience think within themselves. It will change the whole speaking, the whole atmosphere to a conversational one. The audience will start feel like they can be able to answer a question and have a conversation and relate with you more. Take for instance, before you come out to speak, the topic is on public speaking and communication. You start by saying, do any of you here know how or have experienced fear when coming out to speak? Does anybody have stage fright here? You ask a question like that. The audience, although some persons will not reveal the fact that they have stage fright, but that being a question would make the audience think within themselves and they will give you listening ears. Going on to number 2, one of the best ways to start a speech is by giving the audience a surprising statement. Take for instance, you start by saying, do you all know that studies show that about 70 to 80% of humans fear public speaking than death itself? You see how you came up with a surprising statement. It will just surprise them and they'll be like, this statement it's surprising and is going to lead to an interesting conversation or information you're going to drop in that meeting or that speaking gig or that program. And lastly, one of the best and effective ways, I feel like this is the most effective way of starting a speech, is by beginning with a story. You come out to speak. You don't just speak. You start a story and start explaining. Take for instance, you want to talk about public speaking and communication. You start by saying, before going on to the topic of the day, I want to give you guys a short story. Make sure it relates to the message. The story goes like this. When I was in secondary school, my first public speaking, I was so tense and I was so frightened that I almost peed on my pants. See how when you start explaining and you bring it and connect it to the whole message that day. And this is why you should always put yourself out there to speak. You see, as you use a story, then you connect it to the message. It will make the audience lean in, they will listen. It will not only look like you are just coming out to speak logic. You add a story. It makes them, because stories connect. If you've been listening to or you've been following this page, you will know that I emphasize in story a lot. Stories is a connection between you and your audience. So whenever you're speaking, you want to send a message to your audience. One of the best ways, either you start with a question or you go on to with a surprising statement, or effectively use story to send your message.